Natasha.
Debbie.
Show.
The show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show. What's up?
Ate all the German snacks in like 2 days, so...
Yeah, we did do that.
I didn't give you a chance.
Yeah, you did eat most of them.
In my defense, every other snack video we've done from different countries and stuff, oh, go ahead, admit it.
Yeah, I usually eat them.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time.
No, she claimed them all. Most of them. The majority of them. And said I wasn't allowed to have them.
I did not say you weren't allowed to have
You
them.
did too.
I did not. Okay, I did put like a very large portion of them.
This is mine.
These are mine.
This is yours.
And then when she wasn't home, I kind of ate mine
Mm-hmm.
and hers.
She sure
That's
did.
your fault. Don't get mad at me and think I'm a jerk. Don't have such delicious snacks, Germany, and it's not my fault. Don't cause marital problems. Anyway, hi. Sorry, I'm done now.
So if you like today's video, please hit that like button and also consider subscribing to our channel. It's absolutely free to do so.
Today, we're going to check out something we have yet to do since this is, well, we've only done a few videos on Germany so far. And this one is called Surprising German Culture Shocks as Americans. And they're not what you've heard before.
Well, we haven't heard too many because we just started looking into Germany.
I can't think of one I've heard, so I don't know any. So all of these will probably be shocks. This should be good. I'm interested to see what they are. Since
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I like looking at the different countries is the culture differences. So can't wait to see what they have to tell us.
Her birthday soon. March 21st.
You had to sneak that in there, didn't you?
Because I'm excited.
You don't need
about
to
it.
know getting a year older.
Anyway, we're going to check this video out now and learn some of these culture shocks, and we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments after the video. It's about to be spring rain. Here. In there.
I love a good rainy day.
It's beautiful. It's making me chilly.
You too?
Beautiful. Those are my favorite color fall leaves.
This week we're going to share with you our American culture shocks in Germany. So hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Sarah of mymerrymessylife.com and this is...
Hey, I'm Kevin.
And we are parents of 4 children, ages 4 to 11, and...
A cat.
A cat.
And we moved to Germany from America in February 2021, and we're just trying to restart our lives and do new and exciting things and see what it's like to live here in Germany.
Where's that?
Yeah. So today we're going to share with you 10 culture shocks we've had as Americans here in Germany. And this is mostly because I did a poll and said, what are you guys wanting us to do videos about? And a whole bunch of people said German culture shocks. So for us, I hope these culture shocks will be different than a lot of the other videos you've seen on YouTube. Because for Kevin...
We have not watched any video on culture shocks in Germany. Truth.
Kevin and I, a lot of the things that are done here in Germany, we're used to because Kevin lived in France for 5 years and Sweden for 5 years, and I lived in France for 2 years. And
so we knew a lot of the things
about how Europe.
And we're ready for some of those things.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, from doing the channel here for 2+ years now, we've learned a lot too with the UK, Sweden, and some other countries too. So I'm curious to know, how different will they be? So I hope they'll be different just because I like to learn different things. But
Absolutely.
I don't expect everything to be totally different. But I like that they're doing it this way. This sounds very intriguing. I'm interested.
And I know that there are definitely cultural differences and everything else between the different countries in Europe, but there are things that are the same, like needing to know, you know, the train and bus schedules and, you know,
Beautiful.
things in France are actually, there's a lot of similarities, like you got to be quiet when you're in public and quiet on the trains. And so some of the things that a lot of other Americans experience when they come to Germany or even other European countries is that when you go to the grocery store, you have to bring your own bags. You're not given any bags. You have to buy your bags. They're trying to save on plastic and be good for the environment. You go, guys. That's the right move. America needs to get on that. You don't get any plastic bags in the grocery stores. And in every store, you have to bag your own groceries as well. You don't get much customer service when you go to stores in France or Germany. I'm sure it's like that probably in a few other European countries, but it's just not... They just kind of leave you alone, which I like. I'm kind of happy, like leave me alone and let me shop.
So here in America, it's really not, there really aren't any grocery baggers on much anymore. It's all self-service checkouts now.
Yep.
And definitely, I know this video is 2 years old, but heck, yeah, just in 2 years, it's like...
Yeah, the plastic bags are going away quite fast around here.
Yeah.
So that is definitely changed since this video.
Yeah, and a lot of plastic bags are banned in a lot of states, different places too. So maybe it's just the time difference from the video when it was done.
Yeah.
But that is a thing that thankfully we're getting to. It should have happened a lot sooner.
So it just depends on your personality. There's no public restrooms generally in Europe.
Oh.
You've got to go to the downtown city center or the village center, in our case, to the rat house.
That would suck.
And pay your 20 cents to use the restroom. Stores don't really offer public restrooms. You've got to plan ahead for going to the restroom before you go somewhere.
That takes me and Debbie out from ever coming to Germany.
That would be hard. And I couldn't imagine having 4 kids. And
oh gosh,
I know, kids and not having a public restroom. That's what I was thinking, because she said she has 4 kids.
Wait, you know what I'm thinking? All the German food that I would be eating, and I'm like, you can't feed me this deliciousness. And then just be like, hey.
Yeah, on your own.
Yeah, on your own. Adult diapers it is. Got it. Message received.
So those were not culture shocks for us. We knew all those things. We've lived those things before.
So number 1 for us was the German school supplies.
Yeah.
It was, very daunting, just all of the words, Federmäppchen and all these different things.
We're like, what is
that?
But then they need a fountain pen, and then they need these fine liners and colored pencils and watercolor paints.
That is,
and,
wow,
and
that's
a compass and a ruler and all the right lengths and all, so lots of different stuff. So that was pretty interesting to have to get.
And we didn't know what we were supposed to get until we put it into Amazon. We just had to put the words directly from the piece of paper into Amazon. And then we're like, oh, that's what Federmäppchen is, or whatever it's called.
I can't say that either.
So school supplies, and they had to be correct. The teachers were like, this must be correct.
Yeah, I got lots of notes. Well, such and such kid does not have XYZ, still doesn't have XYZ. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
We feel like we're being sent to the principal's
office. I like them.
Sorry, we're the dumb foreigners who don't know what we're doing.
No,
and all the stores are closed, and I have to wait 2 days for Amazon to deliver it.
Exactly, all the stores are closed. Where are we supposed to get this stuff? So number 2 is also something that has to do with school. In fact, the first several of these are all going to be culture shocks that come with school. Since that's been a huge part of our experience here and transferring to Germany, is our kids going to different schools and different languages. The second thing is neatness in handwriting in the schools and how important neatness is.
All the little lines.
A lot more than in the U.S.
The lines have to be drawn with your
they make them draw with a ruler.
I mean, I was used to that in engineering school. That we had a lot of that.
In engineering school.
They would make sure.
Did you not have to do that when you were younger in school? Because I did.
We did, but
we had that line paper, and we had to make sure it was exact. Now I'm talking like, I'm old. Be nice. I'm talking back in the late '80s.
And I did have to do that.
I bet they don't now.
But I know with my sister's kids who are in their 20s now,
they didn't have to.
When they were in school, I don't remember them having to be so neat and perfect with their handwriting.
Make sure you do all that right and draw all your letters the right height and everything.
Right. But not when you're 7 years old.
I know, they're doing that in elementary school, which is kind of
We were doing that in elementary school.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that they're teaching them neatness, but we had to get used to it. We didn't, our kids would just sort of scribble out stuff like they'd done in the U.S., and we would get notes back from the teachers. Yeah. You need to make your kids write more neatly. Oh, sorry.
So then number 3 is needing to have Hausschuhe at school, definitely. That was the number. They mentioned that right away. Got to have your house shoe at school.
Which took us several weeks to get, and that was a big mess.
It was a big mess. But yeah, but we got that settled now.
What is it?
But even having them at home and taking your shoes off when you go into somebody's house and making sure that our kids know that they need to take care of that. So yeah, that was kind of neat.
Question for all of you. I have heard from some people that you should have extra house shoes in your house for when guests come over. And is that really true?
Makes sense.
Is that
That's smart.
Do many of you do that? Because I was like, well, then you'd have to have what sizes would you get?
Exactly what I was
Do
thinking.
you need kid size? You need adult size? I was just like, I don't know
you
how
do
to do
that?
it. So let us know.
And maybe they're like sort of like sandals or flip flop type things where you don't like fit your heel in. Maybe. I don't know. Then it doesn't have to be exact size. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Number 4 is school recess. It happens in the rain, the snow. It doesn't matter the weather. The kids will go outside, which we think is awesome, and we totally agree with. But we were not prepared for that. And as you've heard in our school video, which I'll link up here, I think it is, you can go check that out, or it's in the description box below. But we mentioned in that video that we have sent our kids to school without snow pants and snow boots before, and they have come back home soaking wet. And our daughter Ella, she's 4, and she's getting more settled into kindergarten. And I was just taking her there yesterday, and there were signs all over the place. Eltern, don't forget your Regenjacke and your Regenhose.
Rain jacket and rain pants.
I was like, oh crap, I didn't bring Ella's Regenhose. Ella does have a pair. We're good American parents trying to pretend like we're good Germans. We do have rain pants for Ella, but I didn't bring them that day, of course. And then I brought them yesterday, and they didn't go outside.
Do we have rain pants in America? I've never even heard of them until we started doing these videos.
Not that I know of.
I mean, I'm sure we do, like campers and hikers maybe, but I've never seen rain pants, heard of rain pants. I don't even know what they look like. Now I want some.
Not rain ones. I've heard of snow pants.
I've not heard of snow pants. Just a lot.
But only for when you're going skiing. So it's not like something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's snowing out and I need to put on a different pair.
If anyone's to send us some rain pants, P.O. Box.
So anyway. We got notes from the teacher. She must have a rain jacket. And then the teachers gave me very specific instructions on the type of backpack that Ella should have. It needs to be a kinder size backpack, which is about this big, and it has to have a chest buckle because it's not good or safe for little children to be, without their back support. I totally agree with. But I wasn't used to that, so I had to make sure when I bought her backpack that it had a chest strap.
So number 5 is Germans are serious about their bicycling.
Really?
In America, maybe kids might have a bike when they're young and they can ride around in the cul-de-sac.
Not anymore.
Now they're all in the driveway. But here it's a way of life, and they're serious. And
at least it's more so in Bavaria, I've been told.
Nice.
So let us know, Germans. Is there a lot of bicycling for fun where you live too? In Bavaria, people bicycle all the time. They're everywhere all the time.
I mean, one of my colleagues is saying it takes their 5- and 7-year-old kids on 30-kilometer long bike rides.
30 kilometers?
Yeah.
Are you exaggerating?
No, I'm not
awesome.
exaggerating. That's dead serious. 5 and 7-year-olds.
5 and 7.
Yeah.
Where are those kids
our
out?
other friends, they just took their kids to see Oma and Opa, and it was 11 kilometers one way.
Yeah, and then
through the mountains. Okay, through the mountains.
Nice.
Riding their little bicycles.
Really? Okay, first of all, we used to do that here in America. You're lucky to see kids outside at all anymore. Everyone's inside playing on their phones or tablets, the computers or PlayStations, whatever's. And so if it's not like that in Germany, then America needs to wake up and pay attention to that, because I miss hearing the sound of children outside in the summer when it's nice, and playing and watching them play basketball and things like I did when I was a kid, and I know you did too.
Absolutely.
It doesn't happen anymore. It's upsetting.
Couldn't get me back in the house.
I know.
6 and 8 years old.
Yeah. So they're serious about their bicycles.
But
I was a noob in a lot of ways, I guess, in terms of assembling the bikes, and you guys made sure that and we had that footage of showing the bikes with the forks turned around, and I mean we've had people on the streets.
Slammed for that on YouTube.
But it's really great. Making sure that everything's right and everything's safe. And like knowing, I guess there's rules on what age kids can ride their bikes on the sidewalk Is it 10?
Yes. We've been told it's 10.
Been
But
Wow,
told
they
that,
don't
like,
have rules like that.
That if you're under 10, they can ride on the sidewalks, but if they're over 10, they're supposed to be on the street, riding on the street instead of the sidewalk. So still trying to figure all of that out.
Interesting.
And yeah, so yeah, serious about the bicycles. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
Good to know.
Okay, so number 6 is Bavarian traditional Tracht. Okay, in our first video, we're totally going to, what is it, roast ourselves or...
Yeah. Own up to our ignorance on it.
Well, there's a new trendy word for it, but I can't remember what it is. It's not roast, because I know that's an old word. We're aging ourselves here. But anyway, yeah, we're going to totally own up to this mistake. In our very first video where we say, we're moving to Germany, Kevin's got a fake Bavarian hat on. And we were drinking Weiss beer, but it was not in the correct cup. We got slammed for both of those things.
Well, you call it a Stein.
I called it a beer stein, yes. Anyway, so we made 2 big German faux pas, and we're still getting views and comments on this video for Kevin wearing that hat, and they're like, for the love of God, please take off that ridiculous hat. That is not like representative of Germany, and you're so right. Bavaria does not represent most of Germany. It only represents Bavaria. So for our American viewers, lederhosen, you know, the suspenders with the little strap,
Bavaria only,
shorts,
right?
that's what the men wear, and the women wear dirndls, and that's the dress, and then all of it is called Tracht. Okay?
Oh.
So each little region in town sometimes has different Tracht that represents that town. So what we ended up doing was basically cultural appropriation, which is being called out a lot in the United States right now. It's a big deal going on socially, you know, and people are talking about how it's wrong for someone on the outside to take a little piece of someone's culture and cheese it up. You know?
Make it sort of like a costume, you know.
Make it like a costume.
Instead of, you know, authentic.
And the person wearing that costume doesn't even know what it is that the costume represents and how special it is to the people you have just taken it from. Just like Americans have been taking Native American ceremonial wear for hundreds of years and turning it into these like silly costumes, and they're taking something that's sacred to Native Americans and turning it into something that is cheap and tacky, and you're not honoring what it originally represented and still represents to many people today. So we stepped our foot in it when Kevin wore the hat. We didn't realize how important and special the Bavarian Tracht is to so many Bavarians.
And I find that interesting and agree with that 100%. And also, but like we've seen a lot of people like that are from other countries do stuff with America reactions to things, and they put like cowboy hats on and stuff, and it's like, no.
Yeah, that generalization.
Yeah, and there's just different things that everyone, I think every country, again, has their misconceptions, their thoughts on things for other countries, but it's also what you see on the dang TV and the movies, right? It's just like blows things up into things that aren't even necessarily accurate. Exactly. So that's where a lot of that danger comes from.
It does.
And that it doesn't represent all of Germany. We did know that it didn't represent all of Germany. We did know it was a Bavarian thing.
But we were moving to Bavaria.
And we're moving to Bavaria, yeah. So we knew that. We weren't totally clueless.
Is that where they live then?
But we were somewhat clueless.
I think so.
Even we feel like we're pretty woke people. So that took us aback. We were like, oh my gosh, we still have more to learn. Yep. You know, you're never completely there. You always have more to learn about other people, and to realize, hey, you should be careful before making fun of somebody else's traditional clothing and ceremonial wear, and be really careful how you wear it and how you represent it, and maybe go read a book about it first or watch some YouTube videos about it first.
And I, again, 100% agree.
Absolutely.
However, I just want to say this. I don't think a lot of people do it with an intention of making fun of. You know,
No.
I think a lot of people think they're doing it to be
At a respectful kind of.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? And I think it's like, yeah, I'm proud of this. Although if you're proud of it, you can't be proud of it if you don't know, right? So like what she should have said, you need to learn about it first before you do anything like that. But I think a lot of people don't realize, and again, that's ignorance, lack of education, that, but they're not doing it intentionally to be hurtful.
Exactly.
This is what I've learned. Some people are just stupid and they just do that.
Before you wear it.
So number 7 is being quiet on trains and being quiet in public in general.
Which
you
we
know,
knew.
We knew, but we weren't sure. We didn't live that with our children, and
Yes, we'd only lived here without children.
Like how quiet we talking here?
And our household is loud and boisterous as it is, so it always takes us a little time to calm down the kids and say, okay, no, we're not going to be loud, we're not going to punch each other in the middle of the street, and so that's been something we've been working on.
Yes, every time before we get on the trains, Kevin has been like, okay, kids, this is a calm and quiet place. You're not going to talk loudly. You're not going to run around. You're going to sit in your seat.
You're not going to put your feet up on the seat,
Yeah. You're going to be respectful. And it's been working. They've been behaving.
My mom would have smacked my face off if I hadn't been that way.
Airing
I had
out
to be
the
that way.
house. Now, before we came to Germany, we already knew we were going to have to air out the house. We'd watched so many really good YouTube videos on it. In fact, I want to mention one from Passport to Two, Donnie and Aubrey's video on luften and airing out the house. And I learned so much from it, and I watched many others that I'm sorry I can't remember, but that one definitely stood out. We knew we were going to have to air out the house. We used to do it in France, but we didn't really do it as a ritual. We didn't do it every single morning. And so we started to notice, or I did, that there was sort of like a black film on the tiles in our bathroom. And I knew immediately that was mold. So I wiped it all down, and sure enough, the cloth was black. So we talked to some of our friends, and they're like, are you airing out the house every single morning? And we're like, well,
every day?
We just basically only air it out when it's like warm enough.
Or after every bath.
Or after,
we were good about that. After every shower.
That's true. We were doing it after every bath and shower. So since then, we've been airing out our house every single morning. I really love it. I've acclimated to the cold. We came from Georgia, which is really hot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is.
I've acclimated to the cold, and I love that fresh, chilly air.
Hold on, but why so we actually just aired our house out today. Literally.
We did?
Because it was a really warm day here. The day we're filming this anyway.
Yeah, but it sounded like this is something that they need to do every day.
So I don't understand why.
Yeah, I'm not understanding why.
Why every day? Why is it a need? We do it to just clean, like
just to get some fresh
air, and just the nice smells from outside, things like that. Just clean out the old air in with the new.
Yep.
Right? But she's saying it like you have to do this and saying that's why there's mold in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So they're not like a fan in the bathrooms?
I don't know. We're gonna have to find out more about this one.
This is where we need your help in the comments. Thought you would know.
I don't know on that one.
Okay.
Not every day.
In the morning, I think it's fantastic now, and I look forward to airing out the house. In fact, Kevin comes behind me sometimes and shuts the doors because he thinks or shuts the windows because he thinks it's
well, we don't need to leave it open. No, it's not that it's too cold. It's that it's been open.
We have that rug.
We haven't turned the.
We do.
That's an IKEA rug we have in the basement. Got that exact same rug.
Yes, we do.
I love that rug.
It is
Thank you,
beautiful.
Sweden.
Heating down. Anyway.
Well, I do turn the heating down.
Yeah.
But maybe I do miss some now and again. Anyway, so airing out the house is serious business, and it must be done well. And we noticed in our video where we talk about having no dryer, I think it was the video 10 things we had in America but don't have in Germany. I said that we don't have a dryer here, and I'll link to that up here and down there. And it was so funny, the comments. I mean, I got massive amounts of comments about who has a dryer and who doesn't. And we did a poll later on, and it turns out about 40% of you do have a dryer. 60% did not have a dryer.
Really?
You all mentioned luften and airing out your house, and how you love to have your clothes airing outside, and how you just love fresh air. So I think that's really great.
And number 9 is the opening hours for stores. Now, we did know, of course, that Sundays, basically everything is closed. Well, the bakeries, it's really nice. You can always go to the bakery on Sunday morning.
Bakeries are so open here from 7 to 10 in the morning.
Ending on holidays, too. So we knew that on Sunday you can't go to the grocery store, but it's been a lot more than that, at least here in our little small town. Every place seems to have a day of the week that's it's Ruhetag, it's
like Sunday.
day of rest. That's not Sunday, and here it's Mittwoch on Wednesday. So basically every store is closed on Wednesdays. So it's closed on Sundays, closed on Wednesdays. At least the grocery store doesn't have a Ruhetag, at least.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Oh, gosh.
But all the stores they have are around here. They're closed on Wednesdays as well, and then they're often closed in the middle of the day. There might be like for lunch they might be closed.
Yeah.
Been open for dinner.
You know, and they might close at 2 in the afternoon. They might not be open very late in the afternoon.
So I have a question about that. Are these typically more like family-owned businesses? Because we have a lot of that here in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, where it's usually more like Mondays, Sundays and Mondays. They'll be closed. Because those are our 2 days that we actually have together. So we're like, crap. But those are typically more family-owned or small businesses. So that would be my question as to probably why that is. Again, more questions.
One thing I found interesting is she said bakeries are typically open on Sundays. The bakery's always open. But here, our bakeries are closed on Sunday.
That's true.
Which doesn't make any sense to me because Sunday's the day I want to go get donuts. And there's no bakery open.
I want those pretzel buns and pretzel rolls.
Oh, yeah. All of that looked good.
That looked fantastic.
And then some of them are only open from 3 to 6 p.m.
Yeah, right, or whatever. You know, you just never know.
You never know.
There's been several stores we've gone to, and you just show up to, and there's a little note, handwritten note on the door. Closed today. We'll be opening tomorrow at such and such a time.
That sounds like family.
So
very quaint. Yeah,
for small,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's so cute. And then last but not least, number 10. All products, of course, are in German, as they should be. But that was a big culture shock for me at first, which it may not sound like that would be a culture shock. So what I found is that when I go to the store, it takes me a lot longer to buy things because I have to get out my German Translate app and try to understand some of the things. Like it took me a while to understand what Backpulver is and how that's different from natron. For baking, that's baking powder and baking soda. And so I had to figure all of that out. I had to ask questions on Instagram and get help for it, and finally figured that out. And then when we first moved here, I was deliriously tired. I was so out of my mind with exhaustion. And I started using the dishwashing tablets in the laundry. We had 100 of them.
Oops.
Our relocation agent got us a big box of 100 of them. So for the first 100 washes of all of our clothes, we were using dishwashing tablets. And I always thought our clothes felt a little stiff, not quite getting clean like I wanted them to.
That's awesome.
And now that I have actual laundry detergents, I know why.
I think it's funny. I think it's cute and endearing.
I accidentally bought dishwashing rinse aid to use as dishwashing detergent. And I kept wondering why our dishes weren't getting clean enough. Well, it's because the rinse aid was in there, and so just things.
Rookie mistake.
Poor girl.
Like there were some things I didn't translate because I thought, surely this is dishwashing detergent.
It looks right.
Surely this is the right thing. No, it wasn't. And so that's definitely been an adjustment. And really, all of these culture shocks aren't really shocks. But they are, big adjustments that took us a while to figure out and to muddle our way through. So, and one thing that we've left off.
Yeah, so there's one thing that we didn't put on here that definitely was a culture shock is handling all the recycling and all the different types of recycling streams. And we purposely left that off because that's such a big deal. We're going to do a whole video just on going to the Wertstoffhof, the recycling center, and figuring all of that out.
Yes. So even though we prided ourselves on knowing European life and having done a ton of research before we came, we watched so many videos from Germans and immigrants and expats and whatever living in Germany, and I feel like I knew so much before I came, but to live it and to walk through it was totally different.
Well, that was interesting to see all of those little adjustments that they've had.
Yeah.
I like our word adjustment there.
Adjustment, but also, because, I mean, if you're moving to the country, they expect the language to be different. But that would be the hardest one for me.
Especially like she said, grocery shopping.
Yeah, I didn't even think about grocery shopping.
And I mean, to see a picture and then you think you know what you're getting and nope.
Well, like when we went and bought the German snacks, we ended up buying a couple Austrian snacks. And then everybody gave me crap on our first video? I was like, hey, I love Bavarian food, Wiener Schnitzel. And you're all like, really? You idiot? That's literally, you're saying Austria. I didn't know that.
Right.
I didn't know. I had no idea. But thanks for letting me know.
But now you don't.
You don't know what you don't know until you find out the hard way.
Don't.
And you put it on YouTube.
You sure don't. So I can't wait to find out more about the area of the house and...
Yeah, I want to know more about the homes.
Yeah.
And just...
The school differences sounded really interesting. We don't have children, so we that wouldn't affect us too much because we don't have kids to put through school. So
I'd start over again though. We have several friends that have actually lived in Germany for military purposes, and we're going to try to see if we can get at least one of them to come on the show here with us and do a German episode. Yeah, we had quite a few questions during this episode. If you wouldn't mind to help us in the comments section, and if you liked this episode, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Again, it is free to do that, and it's just saying, hey, we like you guys. Want to see more of you. And yeah, this is a lot here. But I did enjoy this a lot and well put together.
Yeah, it's a lot of information there.
I know that there's going to be a lot more to learn too. So thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you, and we hope to see you back on the next episode of the Natasha and Debbie Show. Until then, please love like jazz.
And be as strong as Tyson.
Bye-bye.
Bye.